All right, let's dive in to one of the biggest and, let's be honest, trickiest shifts in family life. That moment your child becomes a full-fledged adult. It should be a time of pure joy, but for so many families, it's surprisingly full of friction. So today, we're going to get into the why and explore a whole new way to build a really strong, lasting relationship with your adult kids.
I mean, this is the question, right? It's the one so many parents are asking themselves. You've raised them, you love them more than anything, but all of a sudden, even simple conversations can feel like you're walking through a minefield. That transition from parenting a child to relating to an adult, well, it's a massive change. And it means the old playbook just doesn't work anymore. And this slide right here, it really nails the core power shift. Think about it. When they were kids, you were the manager. It was your job to be in charge, to set the rules. But with adults, that whole dynamic has to evolve. It's not a hierarchy anymore. It becomes a partnership. Your job title literally changes from manager to consultant. So yeah, this transition from manager to consultant, it is absolutely the heart of everything we're talking about. It's the exact spot where so many wonderful, well-meaning parents stumble just because they're using an outdated map. And here is the bottom line. The very same methods that worked wonders when they were 5 or even 15 can seriously backfire when they're 25. When you try to manage or direct or, fix things for your adult child, it often has the opposite effect. It can push them away at the exact moment you're trying to pull them closer. And when we get stuck in that old manager playbook, we almost always fall into these communication traps. And these are conversational habits that, even though they come from a place of love, can feel super dismissive or controlling to our adult kids. Oh yeah, I bet some of these will sound familiar. Like jumping in with advice when all they really want is for you to listen. Or dropping the old "you should be grateful" line when they're telling you about a problem. Or, making a comment about their cushy problems. And a huge one, using those old childhood labels like, "oh, you've always been the sensitive one." Every single one of these comes from that manager instinct to fix things. But to an adult, it just feels like you're not actually hearing them. Wow. This one phrase can do so much damage. A comment like this, which, let's be real, often comes from a parent's own past struggles, sends one very clear message. Your problems aren't real. Your pain isn't legitimate. It's an empathy killer, and it makes it so much harder for your kid to ever be vulnerable with you again. So, if the old way is full of traps, what's a better way to look at all this? Well, there's a really powerful framework that says the answer is all about changing the fundamental question we ask ourselves as parents. So often, we get stuck in this reactive mode, right? We're always asking, okay, what do I do now that things have gone wrong? The whole focus is on fixing, on correction. But the shift is to get proactive, to ask, how do I help things go right in the first place? It seems like a small change, but it reframes everything. It moves the goal from correction to connection. And this whole proactive idea is at the heart of a model called the parenting pyramid. It's a really simple but honestly brilliant way to visualize your priorities, and it's backed up by research from empty nesters who are looking back on their own parenting journey. So let's look at how it works. You build it from the bottom up. That huge base, the foundation, that's the relationship itself. It's built on trust and respect. Then the middle layer is teaching, modeling your values. And way up at the tiny little top is correction. And here's the absolute key. Those top two layers, teaching and correction, are only as strong as the foundation they're sitting on. If the relationship is shaky, the whole pyramid crumbles. Okay, so if that foundation is everything, how in the world do we actually build it? What does that even look like day to day? Here are some actual practical strategies. You can start by really listening. Not listening to solve, just listening to understand. Respect their choices, even the ones you don't agree with. And this question right here, it's a total game changer. Would you like my input, or do you just need me to listen? Seriously, that one question shows so much respect. Acknowledging past mistakes, creating new traditions that are just for you as adults, making your home a safe harbor, these are the bricks you use to build that foundation. And hey, if you need any more proof that this whole framework really matters, let's just look at the wisdom from parents who've already been there, done that, the empty nesters.
So, a study asked a bunch of empty nesters about their biggest parenting regrets, and the results are just staggering. A massive 53%, more than half of all regrets were about the relationship. They wish they'd spent more quality time, listened better, just been more present. All the regrets about correction and teaching, way, way lower.
And get this, when those same experienced parents were asked to give advice to other parents, an incredible 84% of that advice was about one thing: strengthening the parent-child bond. With the benefit of hindsight, they are practically shouting from the rooftops, focus on the foundation of the pyramid. And this is really the ultimate takeaway, and it's backed up by the experts. It's not about finding the perfect thing to say or some magic technique. It all comes down to the quality of the connection. That strong, respectful, loving bond is the single most important ingredient for a healthy, lifelong relationship with your kids.
So, what this framework really does is challenge all of us to kind of reevaluate our priorities. It asks us to focus less on correcting and way more on connecting. So, the question I'll leave you with is this: in your relationship with your adult children, where are you putting your energy? Is it on that tiny little tip of the pyramid, or are you building from the foundation up?